Hey everyone, welcome back to another IntoBridge stream. Today we seem to have a bunch of diamonds when righty is ever called diamonds. So we're going to go ahead and make a trap pass and see where things lead. That seems good for us. And all right, so now they've run to two hearts, which we didn't really want. Like we didn't really have a great double of that, and partner couldn't even double that. But they did make a forcing pass, so that's something. And now they've run to three clubs, suggesting that maybe West actually had a lot of hearts because it seems like partner might have been able to double two hearts, and they wouldn't have run to three clubs if they had any hearts. So we're going to go ahead and double that, sort of on principle, sort of just because ace jack tight is pretty good when we didn't necessarily have to have anything in clubs, and we do have all these diamonds stacked behind them. So the question is, on this auction, where it really does look like righty is short in hearts and lefty is short in diamonds, and they maybe have a club fit, do we want to start by leading trumps, which usually we do, or do we want to wait to lead trumps, maybe because our ace jack to lead it would give up a trick? And a little weirdly here, I think we're okay not to lead a trump right away. And the reason for that is that partner is also going to be able to overruff diamonds. And so probably we can survive leading a spade and letting partner shift to trumps once either they overruff diamonds or something else good happens. So indeed, we did lead a spade. Partner didn't shift to a trump, which isn't great. We'd like them to, but declarer is going to play one for us anyway. All right. So what's going on here? Partner won the ace of spades and returned the jack. So it looks like declarer has king, queen, third of spades. It looks like declarer probably has a stiff heart, and partner is 5-5 in the majors with three clubs and a diamond boy. So what do we do about that? That's the interesting question. Declarer is playing trumps, which is surprising, but I guess maybe they don't really have anything else that they love to do here. I think we kind of don't want to be on lead very much, though, right? I mean, one option is we could play a diamond and let partner rough it, because we know they're doing that. But we're kind of just helping declarer draw trumps, and partner's roughing air, right? If we play a diamond, they're roughing away potentially with a trump trick one of declarer's diamond losers. So I think we're actually just going to keep playing trumps. We don't really want to touch hearts. That's maybe scary. All right, let's see what this does. Okay, so right, we don't really want to touch hearts because that's declare. That's kind of, we don't want to help declarer set up hearts, even for one trick, let alone many. We can afford to pitch a diamond here. And, as we see, okay, declarer is roughing this, and wow, declarer does have the jack of hearts. That's annoying. So it looks like we're only going to beat this one trick, which is pretty disappointing. Maybe we could have done better if we either started with, maybe we have to start a diamond, but even that feels like we're going to be hard pressed to do too much more. So I don't know. I don't love getting only 100 there, but everything that we did seemed kind of reasonable. So here, partners opened a diamond, rebid a spade. It looks like they don't have to be unbalanced for this, but our hand is kind of suit-oriented, right? We have this stiff diamond, we don't have a club stopper, and we don't have, if we had a few more points, we might be a little bit worried that if we didn't bid one no, for example, that we might miss a game. But here, our hand is pretty weak, and so I'm actually just going to pass one spade because I think I'm happier sort of staying low unless partner has kind of this exact hand, right, where maybe we belong in hearts rather than spades. But maybe, maybe this is an argument for me to bid a no trump. But if I did bid a no trump and when I'll pass, I wasn't going to be thrilled about it. Whereas when get to play a spade, it's certainly at imps. I think it's right to pass a spade. At match points, I think you could go either way. Maybe you're supposed to bid. Um, and this is the sort of auction that Leah has also, I guess, gone to the same school that I have. When the opponents have an auction like this, you pretty much always lead trumps. And so I'm going to go ahead and play low from dummy to keep the entry for later, to establish my hearts. And now the question is, because I'm not really going to be able to cross ruff since they got trumps going early. The question is, do I win this and then start driving hearts, or maybe there's not even an urgency to win this, and I just duck the first trick, win the second, and go from there. The only reason to win this would be that maybe I wind up using this trump in dummy for something where I wouldn't be able to otherwise. And let's see. I guess I can afford to win it, and maybe this will help me anyway. So we're going to go ahead and start getting hearts going. And we're okay if they tap me a little bit, because it looked, from the lead, it looks like trumps were 3-3. So we're going to actually play kind of carefully here, I think. Rather than try to just drive hearts out, I think we're actually just going to duck a trump. And because they can't safely attack club or keep playing clubs, and we are going to be able to hopefully draw that last trump, or draw the last two trump here. We're going to play for trumps to be 3-3, and look like an idiot if we're wrong, but we were not, so that's the important part. And so now we'll be able to take one pitch here and run our hearts. So we might have been able to do a little better, since again it's a very friendly hand. But I'm kind of okay having made 9 tricks here. If we were playing in 1-0, we don't really have many tricks at all. It's just that partner was going to bid 2 hearts over 1-0, and that would have gotten us to a better place to play. So could be worse, could be better. Here we'll go ahead and just kind of bid this normally and see what we get. Okay, so we have lots of points in our short suits. So we have 3 diamond tricks, 3 club tricks, some work to do in spades, and maybe some problems in hearts. So how are we going to tackle this? Well, we could win we're going to win one of these diamonds, and I tend to try to hide the little cards from Leah. Whether or not it actually matters, I don't know, but I just as a good habit, I try to. So we're going to have to guess who has the jack of spades. There's not really anything to go off of, right? They didn't really have a chance to bid other than making a takeout double. And we can play this suit either way, right? We could play low to the queen and then spin the 9, and that works okay. The only thing is, if we play a spade to the 8, then we have to cross back to dummy and do it again, and they can knock out our entry before we have cleared the spade suit. So because of that, I think we're going to play a spade to the queen and then run the 9. Because that's going to, and today we're rewarded in that the suit split, or the jack popped up for us, or they covered. But I think it's the right play anyway, because we don't really have enough transportation to do it the other way around. So here, now we still have enough transportation to play a diamond and cash the spade without having given up any of our extra chances, right? So we've done that. Righty's shown up with 4 spades. Lefty has shown up with 2. So let's see what's going on in the club suit. And again, because we haven't sort of opened ourselves up elsewhere yet, we can kind of do have the luxury of trying to cash this club before making other decisions. And so we see, okay, great, clubs split. And now we're going to do that. And now we're at an interesting point where we could just pitch the king of diamonds so that we cash our diamond and keep the lead in our hand. The appeal of that is that if we play a heart next and we're wrong, we might lose all the rest of the tricks. And we might not be able to take a diamond trick. The drawback of that is that maybe lefty actually has two diamonds left and the ace of hearts, in which case we're going to give up an extra trick. But right, it looks like we got it right to some extent, that we are not worried about the diamonds. And so now it's kind of nice. We've managed to take 10 tricks without ever opening up the heart suit. And so if the ace of hearts is on the side, great. And if not, then we avoided maybe a catastrophe by playing hearts sooner. So we'll take 11 tricks, which seems good. And had we played hearts sooner, if the ace of hearts was offside, we might have faced all kinds. We might have lost a bunch of heart tricks. But instead, we played safely, and we're rewarded for doing so, because I think it's also technically the right line. So this is sort of a normal 1-2 raise, and partner might have made a game try. They have a pretty big hand, right? They have 8-15, 5-4. If we had a slightly better hand for our raise to 2, we would probably want to be in game. But when we have this pile of dreck, then playing in 2 is just fine. And it looks like another hand that's going to be a little bit about entries, right? So here we'd like to be able to take 2 club finesses. We are going to have to guess hearts. We're going to have to guess spades. There's a lot of guessing to be done. And so I'm actually, I think, going to start by just playing a low spade out of my hand. The only question is, do I play the 9 of spades? The appeal of playing the 9 of spades is that if it goes low, low, king, now I can take 2. Now I have 2 dummy entries to finesse in clubs twice. And so I'm actually going to do that. And when it goes king over here, we haven't really lost anything. And now, okay, the king of clubs, that's a very helpful shift for us. So we're going to go ahead and win that, because now we have all these club intermediates, and we're going to just keep playing spades and see where that gets us. So we no longer need those dummy entries because they helpfully played clubs for us. And so we're going to see if we can learn just a little bit more. Oh, interesting. So it was King Doubleton. So we're going to see if we could learn just a little bit more before having to guess hearts. But now we have to be a little bit careful, because if we play a club right now, we're going to be locked in the dummy, and that's no good. So I thought I saw the 8 of clubs previously, but I might have been hallucinating. So maybe I could play the 8 of spades and unblock the club and cash the clubs and then guess. But I'm just going to play a heart now and try to figure it out. And in this case, they figured it out for me. But I'm not sure what I was going to guess if they made me guess. But and they should make me guess, right? They should know that I can't have a stiff heart here. Ideally, they've already given count and so on, to where they know that they don't need to worry about me having a stiff heart. But they did not, and so today they solved the guess for me, and I made a lot of tricks. All right, so this is a big one. All right, what's this? 1923, I guess. So it might be nice to be able to double and bid, right? If you double and then over 3 hearts bid 3-no, right? There's something to be said for that. The thing, and if partner bids spades, maybe you're actually happy to play in spades rather than playing in Notre. Or you could just bid 3-no and kind of be done with it, and you have many diamond stoppers and a good hand, so hopefully you survive. But I think double actually, what double has going for it is that if partner does jump also, right? Maybe partner jumps to 4 hearts. Even though we don't have heart support, now all of a sudden we know that we probably want to play slam. Whereas if we just bid 3-no, partner's not going to be able to ever work out to make a slam try, because our hand is so good. So we're going to start with double and see where that gets us. Okay, so partner bid 3 spades. So we're just going to give them a raise to 4. And we found a spade fit, which probably is a good thing, compared to maybe playing in 3-no, where maybe they could attack our hearts, which might be weaker. And indeed, with that partner's actual hand, if we bid 3-no, they kind of had a problem, right? Because we might have been bidding 3-no based on long good clubs, where they just want to pass 3-no and play there because they have a trick, or we might be bidding it on some strong balanced hand where we want to actually play spades. So I'm happy with the way that I chose to bid this, because I got to have partners show their spades, and we found our 9-card fit instead of playing in what could be a scary 3-no if partners' hearts were a little bit worse, right? Because I just wouldn't have enough tricks before they might be able to build heart tricks on me. So here in 4 spades, I'm going to be able to pitch one of the hearts on the king of diamonds. It looks like I'll probably be able to pitch a second heart on a club, assuming I'll be able to build the clubs. So I'm not too worried about drawing trumps before roughing hearts, and righty preempted. So I'm going to go ahead and play them to be short in spades, whether or not. Oh, and they are indeed very short in spades. That's interesting. So now we're gonna want to take 2 trump finesses, and the only question is there some risk if we draw 4 rounds of trumps, and the East started with the king of clubs, then maybe we don't actually maybe we have 3 club tricks and we don't have and we want to rough a heart in the dummy. And I'm not seeing any real argument for not just playing to rough a heart in the dummy, because I'm still going to be able to sort of have the transportation, I think. Let's see. Yeah, so I think I'm not really too bothered about anything else here. So I'm just going to play ace of hearts, jack of hearts, I think, and whatever they do is going to be helpful for me. I'll be able to rough a heart in the dummy and take 2 trump finesses and take club finesses if I need to. I'm okay with that. All right. And, they dropped the heart. Okay. Interesting. So, So they're inviting me to take, they're giving me an extra pitch, but I know that they're going to be able to rough in on the 4th one of these, or on the next one of these. The question is there any reason not to sort of enjoy the pitch anyway? And I don't see one immediately, right? Because I know from it went king, low, queen, so East has 2, maybe 3 hearts, right? And 7 diamonds, no spades. So I think I can afford to just pitch a club, and we're going to decide what to do later. So now I'd like to, let's see. So I'd like to take 2 spade finesses, and so we're going to do that. And now I think is the moment of truth, where we kind of have to decide what to do, right? Because if we rough a heart now, then we're going to be a little short, right? We're not going to be able to do everything. If we rough a heart now, we can take a spade finesse back, but if we are wrong and we lose the club finesse, then they'll have a heart winner. And so I think at this point we don't want to rough a heart because that's dangerous. I think we just want to take a club finesse, because we're always going to have to do that anyway. And if it wins, then okay, so now we're in better shape, I think. So now we're going to go ahead and, let's see, we rough a heart high. I think we actually don't even need to risk that. Interesting. So we're going to rough a heart high. And, So now we could take a spade finesse and then repeat the club finesse, right? But in case West ducked from the king of clubs, right, we want to be thinking about how do we guard against that, right? Because West, if they're a clever defender, might be sort of expecting us to fall into this trap, right? Where we finish drawing trumps, and then we take a finesse into them, expecting it to win. When, oh, what am I talking about? I'm yapping for no reason because actually we can just draw trumps and pitch it on the king of diamonds. So in this case, it didn't matter, but it was worth entertaining the thought, let's say, that maybe they had ducked the king of clubs because it can't hurt to think about that, and we actually did have a counter for it anyway. Um, but they did not duck the king of clubs, so we took all this extra precaution, kind of for nothing here. But it was good that we did anyway, and we were always going to have to lose one heart no matter what. So we just lost that a little earlier and kept ourselves a little more flexible in case the king of clubs was offside or other bad things might have been happening. So sometimes it's helpful to see boogeymen around every corner. Sometimes it requires you wind up just spending a little more time and effort on something that would otherwise be straightforward. But one way or the other, it's good to be cautious before running through these things. So anyway, thanks for joining, and see you in another one. Bye.